Everything in your life right now, your results, your achievements, the way you feel every day starts with one thing: your mindset. Not your circumstances, not your luck, not what others think of you. Your mindset determines how you see opportunities, how you respond to challenges, and how far you will go when life pushes you to your limits. Winners are not born, they are made. They are made by the decisions they take every single day, the discipline they build, the people they surround themselves with, and the courage they summon when fear tries to stop them. A champion's mind is trained to see what others ignore. It is focused, it is strong, and it refuses to accept excuses. It turns obstacles into lessons, failure into growth, and doubt into fuel for action. Right now, you have a choice. You can stay in the same patterns that have held you back, or you can step into the mindset of a winner. You can start thinking bigger, expecting more from yourself, and taking action even when the path seems uncertain. This is the moment where change begins. The moment where you decide that your potential will no longer be limited by fear, by hesitation, or by the opinions of others. This video will show you exactly how winners think, how they act, and how they rise to the level of their expectations. It will guide you to take control of your mind, surround yourself with the right people, and master the discipline it takes to succeed. Every word, every idea, and every insight here is designed to push you toward the version of yourself that refuses to settle, that refuses to quit, and that refuses to live anything less than extraordinary. This is your chance to adopt the mindset of a champion, to step forward with confidence, to rise above your limits, and to start living a life defined by success, purpose, and unstoppable momentum. Number one, the power to change begins with you. The power to change begins when a person becomes honest with themselves. It starts in that quiet moment when the noise around you settles and you finally hear what has been waiting inside you for years. There comes a time when you feel the weight of your choices, not in a painful way, but in a way that wakes you up and pushes you to question why your life looks the way it does. You notice how certain habits shape your days, how certain thoughts push you forward or hold you down, and you start to understand that nothing outside you has ever been stronger than what is already inside you. When this realization sinks in, a new kind of energy rises. It is steady, calm, and clear. It does not rush. It does not shout. It simply says that change is possible when you decide to take responsibility for your own path. There is something powerful about standing in front of your own life and admitting that improvement is in your hands. You can feel your heart beat a little faster when you accept that your actions today shape your tomorrow. You might feel nervous or even a little overwhelmed, but you also feel alive. You feel awake. And that feeling reminds you that no one can push you into a life you want. You have to pick up the pieces, decide what stays, what goes, and what grows. That kind of ownership gives you strength you may not have noticed before. It builds a deeper kind of confidence, the kind that comes from knowing that your next step depends on you, not on luck, not on chance, not on anyone else's approval. Many people wait for a perfect moment to begin. They wait for a smooth path, a sign, or someone who will walk beside them and guide every move. But the real turning point shows up when you finally say that waiting is no longer an option. You feel a shift inside you when you stop depending on circumstances and start depending on your choices. This shift doesn't always look dramatic on the outside. Sometimes it appears in the simple decision to get up earlier, to read something meaningful, to slow down before reacting, or to keep your word even when no one else is watching. These steps seem small, but they build the foundation of a new life because they connect you to your own power. The mind becomes clearer when you stop blaming the world for what is missing and start focusing on what you can create. You notice how much energy people lose by pointing fingers and holding resentment. That energy could build something strong, something real, something that leads to progress. And you can feel the difference when you shift your attention. The more you take charge of your decisions, the more grounded you become. You stop waiting for someone to rescue you or motivate you. You understand that true change begins the moment you decide that excuses are no longer part of your story. There is a certain peace that comes when you accept that your future depends on the discipline you bring into your life. It does not matter where you are right now. What matters is the direction you choose from this moment forward. Every improvement begins with a single choice, the choice to rise above your old habits and replace them with actions that bring you closer to the person you want to be. When you feel this beginning inside you, it almost feels like breathing fresh air after standing in a crowded room. You feel lighter, not because your problems disappear, but because you finally feel ready to face them with strength instead of fear. You might notice that people around you react differently when you start changing. Some feel inspired, some feel confused, some feel threatened. But none of that needs to distract you. This is your journey. This is your growth. You are not improving to impress anyone, and you are not rising to gain validation. You are transforming because you deserve a life that feels meaningful when you wake up in the morning and peaceful when you go to bed at night. You deserve a mind that supports your goals instead of fighting them. And you deserve the pride that comes from knowing you refused to stay the same when you had the chance to grow. Real change is not loud. It is not dramatic. It is steady. It is consistent. It shows up when you choose discipline over excuses, health over comfort, growth over distraction, and courage over hesitation. You choose progress. You strengthen the belief that you can shape your life in ways you once only hoped for. And the more you build these choices, the more your identity shifts. You stop seeing yourself as someone who wishes for improvement and start seeing yourself as someone who creates it. As the days pass, the changes may feel small, but you will start noticing a different rhythm in your life. You begin to walk with more confidence. You speak with more clarity. You think with more purpose. This inner shift affects everything you do. You handle challenges with a steadier mind. You take responsibility without feeling attacked. You forgive yourself for the past because you are actively building a future that fills you with pride instead of regret. This kind of growth does not require perfection. It requires honesty, effort, and a willingness to rise after every setback. As you continue, you start understanding that life opens up for the person who takes responsibility for their choices. Opportunities appear when you work for them. Strength builds when you push yourself. Wisdom grows when you reflect on your days instead of running from them. And each time you choose action over delay, you prove to yourself that your power has been inside you from the beginning. You were not waiting for the world to change. You were waiting for yourself to decide that you are worthy of a better life. When you take that step, something profound happens. You stop living by default and start living by design. You feel the weight of your choices, but instead of feeling trapped, you feel hopeful. You feel capable. You feel aware of your own potential. And that awareness is the turning point that separates those who only dream from those who rise. The path ahead may still bring challenges, but now you face them with a stronger heart and a clearer mind. You understand that change is not something you watch. It is something you create. You reach a stage where the person in the mirror becomes your own coach, your own guide, and your own source of strength. You see progress in your eyes. You feel determination in your posture. You hear truth in your own voice. And little by little, you realize that the journey of change is not about becoming someone new. It is about uncovering the strength that has always been inside you, waiting for the moment you decided to use it. Number 2, discipline, the master key to victory. Discipline grows in a person when they finally understand that nothing great stays alive without steady effort. It shows itself in the choices you make when no one is watching, in the small moments where you decide to stay focused instead of drifting into comfort. Many people want strong results, but they avoid the daily effort that builds them. That is why discipline becomes the deciding factor between those who hope and those who achieve. When you wake up each day with a clear sense of what needs to be done, and you choose to follow through even when your mood shifts or your energy drops, you feel a kind of strength inside you that begins to lift every part of your life. When you bring discipline into your day, you start noticing how your habits shape your surroundings. You feel more aware of how your time is spent and how your choices affect your future. This awareness sharpens your thinking. It helps you notice distractions as soon as they show up, whether they come from the noise of the world or the doubts in your own mind. Discipline turns you into someone who does not fold under pressure because you have already trained yourself to stay steady in the face of delay and discomfort. Each time you choose effort over the easy way out, you feel a deeper pride building inside you. It is not loud, it is not dramatic. It is simply the quiet certainty that you are becoming someone who can trust themselves. When you build discipline, you also build order in your life. You begin to understand that your actions today create the conditions for your tomorrow. You may look around your home or your workspace and suddenly feel the urge to organize it because discipline in one area spills into every other area. You begin to take care of your health because you realize not how much stronger you feel when your body supports your goals. You start paying attention to your thoughts because you see how fast negativity drains your energy. You treat your time differently because you understand how fast it disappears when you ignore your responsibilities. All these small improvements come from the same source, a decision to stop drifting and start directing your own path. Some people think discipline takes away freedom, but anyone who has lived without discipline knows the truth. Life becomes heavy when you avoid effort. You feel trapped in unfinished tasks, tired habits, and wasted time. You feel frustrated because you know you could do better, but you keep delaying the changes you need. Discipline frees you from that cycle. It gives you the power to take control of your days instead of being pulled around by impulses. Well, there is nothing restrictive about being able to rely on yourself. That is real freedom. It is the freedom to look at your life and feel confident that you can handle your responsibilities without slipping into chaos. You may remember a moment when you avoided a task for too long. Maybe you felt the pressure building in your chest. Maybe you felt your stomach tighten. Maybe you felt embarrassed because you knew you were running from something simple. Discipline removes that stress. When you get used to doing what needs to be done right away, your mind becomes lighter. You feel clearer. You breathe easier. You experience a different kind of peace, knowing that your responsibilities are under control. This peace grows with every disciplined choice, and soon it becomes part of who you are. The reason discipline feels uncomfortable at first is because your old habits try to pull you back. Your mind may resist the change. Your body may feel tired because it is not used to the effort. Your emotions may rise because you are stretching your limits. But if you stay with it, something amazing happens. Your habits begin to shift, your energy starts to improve, your confidence grows. You stop negotiating with yourself and start following through. You stop delaying and start acting. You stop wishing and start building. That transformation comes from steady steps, not extreme actions, and those steps shape your identity day by day. The people who rise in life are not always the most talented or naturally gifted. Many of them began with very little. What separated them from others was their commitment to discipline. They trained their mind to follow the plan instead of following their feelings. They stayed focused when others got bored. They kept going when others quit. They decided that their goals mattered more than temporary comfort. That kind of discipline becomes a doorway to progress because it proves that consistent action beats talent when talent refuses to work. You feel this truth deeply when you finish something you once avoided. Maybe it was a workout you pushed through even when you felt tired. Maybe it was a project you completed even though you wanted to rest. Maybe it was a decision you honored even when it felt uncomfortable. After finishing it, you notice how strong you feel. The sense of accomplishment builds courage inside you. It reminds you that you can do more than your doubts suggest. It shows you that discipline sharpens your character and strengthens your sense of direction. Discipline also protects your time. When you are disciplined, you stop giving your hours away to things that drain you. You stop letting distractions steal your progress. You shut the door on habits that waste your potential. You begin to stay committed to your goals even when life gets noisy. You handle responsibilities faster, and that gives you more time for rest, more time for building relationships, and more time for personal growth. People often say they need more hours in the day, but what they really need is stronger discipline so they can use the hours they already have with purpose instead of drift. You may feel nervous as you begin this journey, but that feeling is normal. Any change that requires effort brings discomfort, but discomfort is simply a sign that your old limits are being challenged. Over time, this discomfort fades and is replaced with strength. You begin to feel proud of your routine. You begin to feel proud of your growth. You begin to feel proud of the way you carry yourself. Discipline becomes not something you force yourself to do, but something you rely on to stay connected to your goals. When discipline becomes part of your daily life, victories become predictable. You stop depending on motivation. You stop depending on luck. You stop depending on sudden inspiration. Instead, you move through your days with a calm, steady, reliable pace. You feel grounded. You feel stable. You feel aware of exactly where your life is heading. And when challenges appear, you face them with more strength because you have already trained yourself to stay consistent even under pressure. In the end, discipline becomes a kind of strength that protects your dreams. It keeps your focus sharp. It keeps your progress alive. It keeps your energy directed toward the future you want. And the most powerful part is this: discipline is something anyone can build. It does not depend on your background, your age, or your past. It depends on your willingness to take control of your actions and honor your commitments. When you choose discipline, you choose victory long before the results appear. Number 3, guard your mind like a champion. There is a moment in every person's life when they start noticing how quickly the world can influence their thinking. You might wake up feeling calm and ready, but one negative comment, one stressful situation, or one memory from the past can shift your entire mood within seconds. This is why protecting your mind becomes one of the most important steps toward building a stronger life. When you understand how much your thoughts shape your actions, you begin paying close attention to what enters your mind and what stays there. You start to sense how certain words lift you while others pull you down. You sense how certain environments make you feel alive while others drain your energy. This awareness is not a small thing. It becomes a turning point in how you approach your day, your goals, and your future. Guarding your mind does not mean shutting out the world. It means keeping control over what influences your thoughts. You begin to notice how certain voices make you doubt yourself, how certain people push you into stress, and how certain habits weaken your As you become more aware, you stop allowing negativity to move freely inside your thoughts. You stop giving space to opinions that hold no value. You stop allowing the doubts of others to shape your direction. It is not about pretending life is perfect. It is about building enough strength inside your mind so that outside noise does not control your choices. When your mind becomes stronger, your life becomes clearer. You walk with purpose instead of confusion. You move with intention. There are moments when your mind drifts toward fear, worry, or old memories that make you shrink. These thoughts can fill your body with tension. You might feel it in your chest, or in the heaviness behind your eyes, or in the way your breathing changes. These moments are real, and they are part of being human. But guarding your mind means you do not let these thoughts take root. You acknowledge them, you breathe through them, and then you guide your attention back to what moves you forward. You do not allow one moment of doubt to erase the progress you have made. You do not allow one difficult day to define your entire future. Protecting your mind means you refuse to hand over your peace to anything that does not support your growth. When you guard your mind, you begin to notice how certain forms of entertainment, conversations, and social distractions affect your energy. Something that seems harmless at first may leave you feeling empty later. You may find yourself comparing your life to images that don't reflect real life. You may find yourself absorbing opinions that have nothing to do with your path. And when you feel that emotional drop, you begin to understand that everything you consume becomes part of your thinking. This is why guarding your mind means being selective, not rigid, not isolated, just selective. You choose what strengthens you instead of what drains you. You choose what keeps you steady instead of what pulls you into confusion. This type of protection also shows up in how you talk to yourself. Many people struggle not because of what others say, but because of what they say to themselves. You can feel the difference when your inner voice is harsh, impatient, or discouraging. It tightens your body. It lowers your energy. It pushes you into hesitation. A guarded mind speaks differently. It reminds you of your progress. It stays calm during pressure. It encourages you when you fall short. It directs your attention towards solutions instead of problems. It treats mistakes as lessons instead of judgments. When your inner voice becomes strong and supportive, the world outside has far less power over you. Guarding your mind also requires honesty. You cannot protect your thoughts if you pretend you are unaffected by your surroundings. You cannot protect your peace if you ignore the things that disturb it. When you become honest with yourself, you start noticing patterns. You notice when certain people trigger stress in you. You notice when certain habits make you feel guilty or lazy. You notice when certain conversations drain your confidence. This awareness helps you set boundaries that keep your mind healthy. You communicate more clearly. You say no without feeling guilty. You step away from chaos without feeling obligated to fix it. These choices create space for clarity, and clarity creates space for growth. There is a strength that builds inside you when you stop giving your mind away to every thought that passes through it. You learn to filter your focus. You choose what deserves your attention. You redirect your energy the moment it begins to drift into negativity. This does not happen instantly. It takes time, patience, and steady practice. At first, you may catch yourself slipping into old patterns. You may find your mind wandering toward worry or frustration. But as you guard your thoughts more often, your mental muscles grow stronger. You become quicker at recognizing negative patterns. You become better at stopping them before they spread. You become calmer in situations that once overwhelmed you. A guarded mind also recognizes the importance of daily input. Just as the body needs nutritious food, the mind needs positive and meaningful information. When you start your morning with something encouraging, your whole day feels different. You feel lighter, more alert, more prepared. When you end your day with reflection or gratitude, your sleep feels deeper and your next morning feels clearer. This is how your mind stays powerful, through repeated exposure to thoughts that build strength instead of weakness. You begin to choose your mental diet with the same care as your physical one. Guarding your mind does not mean avoiding challenges. It means preparing yourself to face them without losing your balance. Life will bring stress. Life will bring disappointment. Life will bring moments that test your patience and your confidence. A protected mind stays steady in these moments. It does not collapse under pressure. It does not lose direction. It does not break down simply because a situation becomes tough. Instead, it observes, adjusts, and responds with clarity. That kind of stability changes the way you experience life. You feel more grounded in who you are. You feel more certain in your direction. You feel more able to handle whatever comes next. Over time, people around you notice the difference. They may see how calm you are during situations that once frustrated you. They may see how stable you remain when others panic. They may see how focused you stay when distractions appear. What they may not realize is that this strength did not come from luck or talent. It came from the quiet, consistent practice of guarding your mind every day. It came from choosing what to accept and what to reject. It came from refusing to let the world shape your thinking without your permission. When you guard your mind, you regain control of your life. You make decisions based on clarity instead of pressure. You move toward your goals with a steady heart instead of scattered emotions. You understand yourself more deeply, and that understanding becomes the anchor that supports every step you take. The world may bring challenges, but your mind remains your home, and when you protect that home, it becomes easier to face. Number 4. Rise to the level of your expectations. There comes a point in life when a person realizes that their progress is tied directly to the standards they set for themselves. It becomes clear that the level you reach is rarely higher than the level you expect from your own actions. When you raise your expectations, you raise your behavior, and when your behavior rises, so does everything connected to your life. You start noticing how your goals sit on one side and your daily habits sit on the other, and the only way to bridge the space between them is by expecting more from yourself than the version of you from yesterday. This shift does not happen suddenly. It grows inside you as you begin to see how your choices either lift you or limit you. The moment you accept that your expectations shape your path, you feel a different kind of responsibility settle in your chest, a calm understanding that your future depends on the standard you choose to stand on. When a person expects little from themselves, their actions follow that direction. They settle for what is convenient, what is comfortable, and what requires the least amount of effort. This might feel easy for a while, but eventually it brings frustration because deep down, no one feels fulfilled when they know they are capable of more. There is a quiet disappointment that grows when you see yourself repeating the same patterns year after year, wishing for improvement, but refusing to raise your expectations high enough to require change. That frustration becomes a turning point if you choose to pay attention to it. It pushes you to look at your life honestly and ask what you truly expect from yourself. Not what others expect, not what the world suggests, what you expect. As this awareness grows, you start examining your decisions more closely. You feel yourself noticing how you react during moments of pressure, how you handle setbacks, how you respond to challenges, and how you manage your time. You begin questioning whether your behavior lines up with the future you want or whether it pulls you away from it. This kind of reflection may feel uncomfortable at first because it exposes areas you have been avoiding, but it also opens the door to real growth. When you expect more from yourself, you no longer accept actions that weaken your progress. You no longer accept habits that drain your energy. You no longer accept a mindset that lowers your confidence. High expectations push you to rise, not for approval, but for your own development. Rising to the level of your expectations means refusing to settle for the version of you that stays in the same cycle. It means refusing to accept excuses that hold you back. It means refusing to lower your goals to match your fears. Instead, you lift your thoughts, your actions, and your habits to match the person you want to become. This kind of growth takes courage because it requires stepping into unfamiliar territory. You may feel nervous at first because you are demanding more from yourself than before. But as you push through this discomfort, you begin feeling a new type of confidence build inside you. You start seeing yourself as someone who can handle responsibility, someone who follows through, someone who shows up even when motivation fades. As you raise your expectations, you notice shifts in your mindset. You start speaking to yourself differently. You begin refusing to accept negative internal dialogue that holds you down. You guide your thoughts towards strength instead of weakness. You build a clearer picture of who you want to be, and that image guides your choices more than any external pressure. When your standards rise, your inner voice begins encouraging you instead of doubting you. You feel a new connection to your goals because your thoughts are aligned with your actions. This alignment creates a sense of certainty that becomes stronger with every decision you make. The moment you begin expecting more from yourself, you also become more aware of the distractions that pull you away from your goals. You notice how easily time slips away when you lose focus. You notice how certain habits drain your purpose. You notice how certain patterns keep you stuck in the same emotional state. As your standards rise, these distractions become less appealing. You develop a deeper respect for your own time, your own energy, and your own future. You begin choosing actions that honor your potential rather than actions that comfort your doubts. One of the strongest changes you experience when you raise your expectations is the way you approach challenges. Instead of feeling defeated by difficulty, you recognize it as part of the process. You stop giving up at the first sign of discomfort. You stop lowering your goals when obstacles appear. You begin responding with patience and determination because you understand that achieving anything meaningful requires resilience. You feel yourself growing stronger as you face challenges with clarity instead of panic. You start to trust your ability to handle pressure. This trust builds a foundation of confidence that cannot be shaken easily. Another important shift appears in the way you treat your commitments. When your expectations rise, you take your promises more seriously, especially the ones you make to yourself. You hold yourself accountable even when no one is watching. You keep your word because it reflects your level of respect for your own future. You no longer view commitments as optional. You view them as necessary steps toward the life you want to create. This kind of responsibility strengthens your character. It helps you sleep better at night. It helps you wake up with a clearer conscience. It helps you navigate life with a sense of stability. Rising to the level of your expectations also affects how you view growth. You stop looking for overnight results. You stop expecting progress to be quick or effortless. Instead, you start appreciating the process. You recognize that growth is built through steady effort, repeated actions, and continual learning. You develop patience with yourself while still demanding progress. This balance between patience and responsibility becomes a powerful force in your life. It helps you stay motivated without feeling rushed. It helps you stay focused without feeling overwhelmed. There is a noticeable change in your energy when you begin living according to higher expectations. You feel more alert, more purposeful, and more connected to your future. You carry yourself with a confidence that comes from knowing you are doing the work. Your presence becomes stronger. People can sense your commitment, even if you never speak about it. You no longer need to prove anything to anyone. Your actions speak for you. Your discipline speaks for you. Your progress speaks for you. This kind of energy attracts opportunities because people trust someone who trusts themselves. As your expectations rise, your view of success becomes clearer. You stop comparing your journey to others. You stop rushing the process. You stop letting fear dictate your direction. Instead, you move with intention. You focus on daily improvement. You build momentum through consistent effort. You celebrate progress, not perfection. You understand that every step forward, no matter how small, strengthens your path. You begin to feel proud of the person you are becoming because you know you have earned every piece of your growth. Over time, you look back and realize how far you have come, not by chance, but by choice. You rose because you expected yourself to rise. You improved because you demanded improvement from yourself. You grew because you refused to stay the same. And as you continue this journey, you carry with you the certainty that your expectations will always guide your elevation. The higher you raise them, the higher your life rises with you. Number 5, your circle determines your altitude. There comes a time in life when you begin noticing the quiet influence of the people around you. You start seeing how their attitudes affect the way you think, how their habits affect the way you behave, and how their expectations affect the way you see your own potential. This awareness does not show up all at once. It grows slowly, often through small moments where you realize that certain people make you feel stronger while others leave you drained. You begin to sense how your environment shapes your choices, and you start understanding that your circle carries a major part of your future inside it. When you reach this realization, you begin to look at your relationships through a different lens, not out of judgment, but out of responsibility for your own growth. Some people lift your energy just by being around them. Their presence feels steady. Their words push you forward. Their mindset supports your goals. They may not always agree with you, and they may challenge you, but their influence strengthens your direction instead of weakening it. You feel more alert when you talk to them. Your thoughts feel clearer. Your ambition feels alive. Conversations with them leave you wanting to improve. This kind of presence is rare, and you feel it deeply because it aligns with the person you are working to become. Being around people like this reminds you of your own strength, even during moments when your confidence feels low. On the other hand, some individuals leave you feeling tense or uncertain, even if you cannot explain it right away. You may feel your stomach tighten when you hear their tone. You may feel your mind get clouded when they speak. You may feel frustration growing because their actions and attitudes pull you away from your goals. Now, these reactions are easy to ignore at first, but if you pay attention, you begin to see patterns. You notice how their negativity pushes you toward doubt. You notice how their habits tempt you to lower your standards. You notice how their lack of discipline makes you question your own progress. This does not make them bad people. It simply means they are walking a different path, and keeping them too close may pull you off yours. Your circle shapes your expectations. When you surround yourself with people who push themselves, who take responsibility, who stay committed, you naturally begin to match that energy. You feel pushed to rise because the environment around you supports growth. But when you stay close to people who avoid effort, who complain, who fear improvement, their behavior influences you in ways you might not notice at first. You may start lowering your goals. You may start delaying important decisions. You may start doubting your direction. This is not because you are weak. It is because humans absorb patterns from the people closest to them, especially during moments of uncertainty. Strengthening your circle requires honesty. It requires looking at your relationships without fear of discomfort. It requires acknowledging that not everyone belongs in a close place in your life. You can care about people while still protecting your own growth. You can respect them without allowing their habits to shape your future. This clarity sets you free from the pressure of holding on to relationships that no longer serve your progress. It helps you create space for new people who inspire you, support you, and challenge you to become better. You may experience a wave of emotions as you begin adjusting your circle. You may feel guilt for distancing yourself from people who were once close. You may feel fear of being alone for a period of time. You may feel uncertain about who will enter your life next. These emotions are natural. They reflect the weight of change. But as you move forward, you begin to realize that protecting your circle is not about removing people. It is about supporting your growth. It is about choosing relationships that align with your values and goals. It is about ensuring that the people closest to you reflect the future you want, not the past you outgrew. A powerful shift happens inside you when you surround yourself with people who think bigger, work harder, and expect more from themselves. Their presence influences your posture, your decisions, your confidence, and your daily effort. You feel encouraged to raise your standards. You feel inspired to try new things. You feel accountable to your goals, not because they pressure you, but because their example reminds you of what is possible. Being around this kind of energy strengthens your ambition. It lifts your spirit. It fuels your consistency. It becomes easier to stay focused because the environment around you supports discipline instead of distraction. You also start understanding the kind of person you need to be in return. You realize that you cannot expect strong relationships if you do not bring strength yourself. You cannot expect supportive people if you do not offer support. You cannot expect honesty if you do not speak with honesty. Your circle improves when you improve. You attract better connections when you raise your own standards. This awareness pushes you to carry yourself with more respect, more responsibility, and more discipline. Your growth becomes a gift to the people around you, and their growth becomes a gift to you. There will be moments when you feel the difference between a strong circle and a weak one more clearly than ever. You may face a difficult challenge and watch how certain people disappear while others stand beside you. You may experience success and notice how certain individuals become resentful while others celebrate your progress with genuine joy. These moments reveal who truly supports your journey. They show you who strengthens you and who weakens you. They show you who belongs close and who belongs at a distance. These experiences help you refine your circle even further, not through anger, but through understanding. It also affects your emotional state. When you spend time around people who take ownership of their lives, you feel more stable. You feel more grounded. You feel more capable of handling stress. Their calm energy influences your breathing, your thinking, your reactions. You begin facing challenges with more patience and more clarity because you are surrounded by individuals who respond to life, not react to it. On the other hand, when you spend time around people who avoid responsibility, who panic, who complain, their energy enters your emotions too. You may feel scattered. You may feel tense. You may feel drained. Even if you try to ignore it, your body feels the difference. As you continue to refine your circle, you begin valuing quiet strength over loud opinions. You value who stay consistent. You value people who stay consistent over people who make excuses. You value those who encourage your growth instead of feeding your doubts. You value people who challenge you to rise instead of pulling you into comfort. You realize that growth does not happen alone. It happens in environments that push you to expand, stretch, and evolve. And when you choose those environments with care, your future begins to open in ways that were not possible before. Over time, your circle becomes one of your greatest advantages. It becomes a source of motivation during slow seasons. It becomes a source of courage during uncertain moments. It becomes a reminder of your potential during difficult days. Your circle becomes part of your foundation, helping you stay aligned with your goals and your identity. You feel safer within yourself because you know you are supported by people who want to see you win with integrity, effort, and purpose. When you reach this point, you look back and realize how much your life has changed simply because you chose your circle with intention. You feel stronger, not by chance, but because your environment reflects the person you are becoming. You feel more focused, not because the world became easier, but because you are surrounded by minds that encourage clarity. You feel more aligned with your direction because the people closest to you walk in the same spirit of progress and responsibility. That is the power of your circle. It shapes how high you rise. It shapes how far you go. It shapes how strong you become. And when you choose it wisely, you give yourself the support you need to reach levels you once only imagined. Number 6, action conquers fear. Fear often shows up in quiet ways long before we recognize it. It appears in hesitation, in overthinking, in constantly imagining the worst outcome, or in the way your chest tightens when an opportunity requires you to step forward. Fear does not always shout. Sometimes it whispers. It tells you to wait a little longer. It tells you to stay where you feel safe. It tells you that maybe tomorrow will feel easier. At first, these thoughts seem harmless, but over time, they create a habit of delay. You begin holding back from situations that would help you grow. You start doubting your own abilities, and you feel stuck, not because you lack potential, but because your thoughts keep convincing you to stand still. What many people do not realize is that fear does not disappear by thinking about it. It does not shrink by analyzing it. It does not fade by wishing it away. Fear weakens only when you move toward the thing that scares you. The moment you take a step, even a small one, your mind begins to loosen its grip. You notice your breathing change. You feel your confidence rise a little. You sense the weight on your shoulders easing. You begin questioning why you waited so long in the first place. That is the power of action. It interrupts the cycle of fear before it grows stronger. It pushes aside the doubts that once felt overwhelming. And it gives you proof that you are capable of facing what you once avoided. Action teaches you more about your strength than any amount of thinking ever could. When you take a step despite feeling nervous, you discover something important about yourself. You realize that the fear you imagined was bigger than the fear you experienced. You see that most of the pressure existed in your mind, not in the event itself. Your confidence grows because you now have evidence that you can handle more than you thought. This experience changes how you face future challenges. You begin approaching them with a steadier heart. You feel more grounded. You judge yourself less harshly. You trust your ability to adapt. There is something deeply empowering about moving forward even when your emotions are uncertain. Your legs may feel heavy. Your stomach may feel tight. Your thoughts may shift between excitement and doubt. But the moment you act, your body begins to relax because it finally has direction. Your mind settles because it is no longer stuck in endless questions. Your fear loses strength because it cannot survive movement. Action transforms the tension inside you into determination. It gives you control over your emotions instead of letting your emotions control you. People often fall into the trap of waiting for confidence before they act. They hope for courage to suddenly appear. They wait for the perfect moment where everything feels right. But confidence does not arrive before action. Confidence is the result of action. Every step you take builds trust in your own ability to handle discomfort. Every challenge you face gives you new experience. Every attempt, even the ones that do not go well, strengthens your resilience. You learn that mistakes are not the end of the story. They are part of your training. They help you understand what to improve, They show you how far you have come. And they remind you that fear cannot stop someone who keeps moving. When you take action, your world begins to expand. You meet new people. You develop new skills. You discover abilities. These moments create a sense of progress that makes fear smaller each time it returns. You stop seeing challenges as threats and start seeing them as stepping stones. You begin realizing that your growth depends on stepping into situations that stretch your limits. The more you do this, the more natural it becomes. Tasks that once felt intimidating begin to feel manageable. Responsibilities that once felt heavy begin to feel rewarding. Your identity shifts from someone who avoids fear to someone who faces it. Fear thrives in silence and stillness. When you remain still, fear grows louder. It plays old memories. It highlights your past mistakes. It reminds you of every time you felt embarrassed or uncertain. But action interrupts that silence. It brings new experiences into your life. It replaces old doubts with new victories. Even if those victories are small, they create momentum. You may not notice the change immediately, but your future self will feel the difference. You will look back and realize how powerful those small steps were. Taking action also changes the way you view yourself. You stop defining your identity by your fears. You begin seeing yourself as someone who takes responsibility, someone who follows through, someone who refuses to let fear limit their growth. This new identity influences your behavior. You walk with more presence. You speak with more certainty. You make decisions with more confidence. Without forcing anything, you begin carrying yourself differently because your actions have proved your strength to you. There are moments when fear feels overwhelming. Your heart might beat faster. Your thoughts might scatter. You might feel the urge to avoid anything challenging. But in those moments, even the smallest action can shift everything. Sending a message you have been avoiding, making a call you postponed, starting a task you kept delaying, showing up for an opportunity even if your voice shakes. What matters is that you move. Movement breaks fear's rhythm. It gives you back your power. And once you experience that shift, you know you can create it again anytime fear returns. You will notice that people who succeed are not fearless. They simply act before fear has the chance to stop them. They take steps even when their hands shake. They move forward even when their mind worries. They understand that fear does not disappear with time. It disappears with action. Their courage is not natural talent. It is a practiced habit. And the more they practice it, the stronger it becomes. As you build this habit, you begin trusting yourself more deeply. You stop doubting every decision. You stop waiting for reassurance. You stop relying on perfect conditions. You rely on movement. You rely on effort. You rely on your ability to adapt. This brings a sense of peace, not because life becomes easier, but because you finally understand how to face it. You no longer shut down when you feel afraid. You rise, you breathe, you act. Over time, action becomes your strongest source of confidence. You stop imagining worst-case scenarios because your experiences prove that you can handle challenges. You stop fearing judgment because your progress matters more than opinions. You stop shrinking yourself to stay comfortable because you know comfort never leads to growth. This shift in thinking transforms your entire life. You feel more alive. You feel more capable. You feel more in control of your direction. Fear may still appear, but it no longer defines you. It no longer dictates your path. It no longer steals your opportunity. You see it for what it truly is, a signal that you are stepping into a new season of growth. And instead of running from it, you walk toward it with steady determination. Action becomes your answer. Action becomes your strength. Action becomes the force that pushes you past limitations and into a future shaped by courage, persistence, and progress. And once you realize how powerful you become when you move despite fear, your entire life rises to a level that once felt out of reach.